Greetings everybody, welcome to another video. Today we are going to be taking a look at the introduction of our new character here on JP and soon to be a new character on Global, the last new character. Sad, I know, but not as sad as what I'm about to tell you in this video. So today we're going to be talking about, is she worth the stones on the JP side? Because, I mean, at this point, if you're still going to be playing, you might want to switch over just to JP since we know that this version is still going. How do I know that this version is still going? Well, they're charging full price for this version of Helena. So Global, I mean, it makes sense. You're not going to be charging for her on Global. Global players will be able to get her for free and essentially play her. So there isn't much point is she worth the stones there? But for people who will be coming over, and so far there's been a fair number, at least through my channel only, who have found ways of hooking up and playing JP, and they're doing all right on JP. So that's good to hear. Now, with that being said, Umber is very busy, so I'm going to try and get to the Discord as often as I can, but no promises. So looking at Helena, here's the thing. I have seen already a good amount of content involving Helena, and she seems very, very powerful. The team that seems to be very successful with her is Karsha, Kuja, and her. Now, if that seems a little bit kind of annoying for Globalers, it probably is because it is, since Karsha as well as Kuja are not going to be released on Global. Globalers are going to have to find their own team that works particularly well with her. What I will say quite confidently is that she does look very strong and has some really nice stuff in her kit and just overall. So this is a powerful character you'll be able to have fun with, guarantee that, but let's take a look and see what we got. So the weapon has healing power up. We have a little bit of essentially a redundancy against this character being, too far removed from being able to do some powerful heals. We know that her limit burst is already a powerful heal, so that's good news. But taking a look at this, resistance penetration just on the weapon, and when HP is over 50%, attacking targets healing power for 3 turns is down, which is interesting for a weapon like this. Also, not exclusive just to her, exclusive to ice characters. So this is something like EOS could use, which is pretty cool. Other things you'll notice, not extremely high accuracy, but not low accuracy either. Good amount of speed. We do have the Hermes sandals on, and decent amount of AoE and single target resistance for being in an entire ice party. As for attacking resistances, pretty good across the board. A little bit weak against shooting, but not necessarily something that you have to worry too much about from what I've seen. And elemental resistance across the board here is very high. Other things to note, while she does have some good status effect resistance, a little concerning that curse resistance is not in here. So that's something you're going to have to think about for this character. Looking at the Trust Mastery, reduces damage taken by 50% for 4 times for an ally, not self. That's important to note. Restores HP for the ally and not self, and restores HP for herself on this ability, which has pretty good range on it. I honestly think that this is pretty cool. Now, just taking a look at this, basically restores HP for allies and self, creates a barrier. There is something on Wotv calc which is a little strange, because it says that there is, when an enemy target is killed, automatically cast another skill. This is pretty new. We haven't seen this ever before. And I'm just really quickly looking on another screen here to see exactly if this other skill is even on there, because I cannot find it in game. I cannot find it anywhere what this actually is. So this is curious, because this ability is not listed on the actual effects. It could just be a Wotv calc thing. Guess I'll talk about it later if it does turn out to be true, but it's pretty interesting. Like it says on here, can heal and grant physical and magical barriers at the same time. Also useful for adjusting speed and a wide range of equipment for high versatility. Basically, meaning it's an accessory, you can equip it on other characters. But it's weird saying adjusting for speed, so that must be the alternate effect that when a character is killed, speed is adjusted. But it's interesting that it's not in the weapon or in the piece of equipment description. So put a pin in that. Master ability, increased HP, single target resistance, debuff, effect weakening. Dream ability, increased accuracy and reaction block rate. Not bad overall. Of course, looking into the main part of her kit, starting off with the limit burst, we've already seen the animation, so I'm not going to fuss too much about it today. But this is the increased HP of 310 for allies. From what I've noted of seeing Helena already in battle, Helena is very good at triggering this when she needs to. Of course, it's a TP skill, so you don't have to worry about the AP cost at all. And when conditions are met, basically an ally falls below 50% HP, you get a HP heal on that character, medium one time. It's really, really, really strong limit burst for keeping characters going. Might be one of the reasons why she's partnered with Karsha, since Karsha also represents a strong amount of healing and support, and give a team a lot of longevity if a curse status effect is not triggered on this character and the other character as well. Of course, then we get into talking a little bit about her kit and maybe why there is not curse resistance specifically here yet. There is a reason for it. Let's take a look at counter really quickly, because it has a high range on it, with a chance to counter slash and magic damage with a return attack, which is pretty neat. I'm not overly fussy about these kind of things, but it is a preemptive counter, so it does have a chance of countering and killing the opponent before they kill you. Not bad. Looking at support skills, her main support skill is Spirit Penetration up by 40, Magic Attack Resistance Penetration by 40, Elemental Resistance up by 20, and reducing magical damage taken. I think you're always going to be running this ability. Very, very nice. The other one that we are looking at for her new job is AoE resistance of 12 and debuff effect weakening of 15. She also has Time Mage, as well as, really quickly, Conjoiner, which is not one I'm familiar with on JP, but she does have it. That Conjoiner is interesting because it does have agility increase of 12 and chance of being targeted of a decrease of 5, which is pretty nice. Skill activation time, looking at her kit, she has no skill activation time, so it's not really something that you're going to need for that. Nullify, haste, slow, stop, and quicken for self. It could be useful in certain locations, but she has a wide variety of stuff. And the other one from Conjoiner, magic increase of 30%, spirit penetration of 40, and defense decrease of 3. So you can build her to be offensive, speedy, and I kind of prefer over the debuff effect weaken and AoE resistance. Kind of enjoy the agility and decreased chance of being targeted. Since she is technically a healer, keeping her around longer, it seems like a general good idea. But either way, some flexibility in the support skills of how you will build her. Now talking about the sub part of her job. This one, we have a decreased magic resistance, which is pretty good if you're trying to kill off opponents with a magic-based team. She'll bring some stuff there. And here, restore HP for self and restore CT. Kind of interesting, given that if you were to wanting to survive it near the end of the battle, you've already used your limit burst. This kind of gives you a leg up on the opponent while also restoring your HP. Providing it's enough, you can potentially get a turn in there where you can just attack and they can't. Good. Conjoiner, looking at this, has a couple of abilities for when targets are attacked off. Can inflict Toad. Interesting status effect that people are not prepared for at all times. Also decrease all attack resistances, decrease elemental chain resistance. So there is some good stuff in here. Conjoiner also is a selected 2 target ones, which is pretty cool. And when conditions are met, when her HP falls below 50%, Conjoiner does give some bonuses, as well as the abilities granting Protect and Shell and protect, remove sealing for 3 turns. So Conjoiner is kind of cool. It does have casting time, so that might be why you are using that. But I do like Conjoiner. Time Mage, she has Quicken. Enough said. I mean, yes, she does have switch target with with another unit. She does have guard haste, which is just very valuable. The fact that she has Quicken is also pretty nice. So you have actually 3 good options to me. The main one could be really cool with this HP and Restore CT, just getting over the opponent and going directly on. Conjoiner has, Protect and Shell, which is another layer of protection that is hard to get rid of, ensuring that she will just survive and then be able to heal up herself and allies, while also having more attack power, which her AI does actually favor. And then you have Time Mage, which is a really nice support one, and probably the one I'm the most dubious on because I haven't seen her actually do that kind of stuff. But at the beginning of battle, probably, but into battle, almost certainly not. And even then, she is a powerful unit, a powerful offensive unit, so you probably want her doing that, not necessarily supporting others, but could be important. Now, the main job here, I mean, there's a lot of extra skill effects here, so I'm just going to try and get into it. First one here, when a target is killed off, I mean, this is her basic attack here. Just going right down here. Boy, oh boy, there is a bunch of stuff on. Sorry, I'm just going to make sure. So when a target is killed off, restore HP for self, which is pretty neat. That's just on her basic skill there, which at the end of a battle, once again, might provide the necessary healing to get over that hump. This next ability increased all elemental resistance by 20% for 4 turns for stealth, increased magic resistance by 30% for 4 turns for stealth, and then when units are in range, cast another attack skill for self. Now, there's a bunch of stuff here. We have a wide range of stuff in here, including aura style effects of nullifying CT down for allies, increasing poison resistance, increasing curse resistance. When HP drops below 50% on some of her abilities, also grants haste. I do believe that is connected to her limit burst. Restore CT for self, that can be increased upon killing a unit that with one of her abilities. Increase AoE resistance for allies by 25. Restore HP effect, which again, that's based on the kill effect. And we also have reflecting magic skills for 3 turns for self. So there are a bunch of abilities attached to this besides just that, but we're looking at CT bonuses, we're looking at CT down immunity, curse resistance. There's a lot of stuff in here that is packaged in. And as we've seen before, anti-curse resistance auras are incredibly valuable and quite looked at very favorably by the community. So great. Next ability here, support skill, 200% chance for physical damage increases for allies, 20%, and magical damage increases. Grants the following effects: ignore if someone tried to dispel, ignore fatal damage buff for 4 turns, 200% chance to ignore fatal damage for self, grants physical damage taken a reduction of 20% for 4 turns for self, grants the following effects: upon hit, increasing AoE resistance penetration by 40 when performing a critical hit for 4 turns. So there's a lot of stuff in this ability, and not just for her, but for others as well. This ability decreased critical evasion by -30. This kind of makes sense given the other skill that we saw. Critical hits are rewarded for this character. And we get into some other stuff, starting off with this one. Oh wait, that's the critical hit resistance. That's also, sorry, a triple hitter. My bad. I actually clicked down on the wrong one. This is the one I wanted to get to eventually. One that is upgraded here. So we're looking at a reduce magical damage taken the larger the AoE increase buff for targets. So basically, you know, reduction, 200% mod, 50% of the damage is restored for herself, reduces the physical damage taken by 50% for 1 turn for herself, and decreases healing power by 40 for 3 turns targets. Pretty impressive slew of abilities on that one. That seems quite nice. And then we get to her job level 25 ability. Breaking magic barriers for targets, reducing magical damage taken, increased buffs for targets, 200% mod, a 30% up hit chance to deal with those evasion characters, and a 25% chance to inflict curse for 3 turns, as if there wasn't enough already. Helena is a definitively powerful character. Unquestionable at this point. I've seen enough evidence to show me that she is good against a wide variety of teams, including, but not limited to, the most recent version of More, which is not going to be a problem for global, but for JP players and some of the global players coming over for JP, it's probably pretty interesting to note what is generally looking quite good right now. And this character is definitely that. He is powerful, and from a JP perspective, a little bit annoying right now given that Karsha and Kuja's banner just ended yesterday, meaning that this character might be looking for more future partners, and maybe we're going to see a little bit of intermingling. Maybe this character is going to be found in still some other great teams, but I have a feeling that given the results that I've seen, yeah, it's really good combination with Karsha at the very least, because Karsha and her both mage characters who benefit from, you know, magic-based VC, so that's really nice, but there's so much healing power there that it really is hard to deal with. Then you get in that curse resistance, which can just keep your healing power going, and it's really, really good. So yes, this does feel very much like an anniversary character 1 year later that is doing a lot of stuff. Does she feel as broken as like what we saw last year? No, definitely not. Yeah, I've seen her mop the floor with a bunch of different teams with her power in the team I've talked about. But it doesn't feel like as big of a power grab, at least yet. We'll see what happens in the near future, but Helena is a pretty damn awesome character who seems great, and definitely one worth at the very least trying for, given that I'm heading over to the screen to take my shot. I did it the 1,000 lapis pull yesterday. I didn't get anything, but it's a new day, it's a new month, and you know what? Again, for my global players out there who went through this game for so long, worked so hard on your accounts and everything, it sucks to, I'm just going to say this at the end of the video, that this basically sucks that this kind of has to be the final one, especially an anniversary character feels so disingenuous, yet she's still being sold on JP sort of thing. It's not really cool as far as I'm concerned. But you guys have all been great. I think that this character is absolutely worth the stones because there are no stones to worry about on global. Have fun, enjoy, try some experimentation, and get back to me on what you think works really well for her. As for JP, it's kind of hard to say that she isn't worth at least a little bit of interest given that she is so powerful and seems like she'll be really good, and I just generally like ice characters. So here we go. The test of the month of April. Do we have any luck? Either way, I think that this character is really, really, really cool. And I guess that is a nice character. But yeah, we'll bring more and more content with her throughout the week. And I hope globalers enjoy having some fun. All right, let's see what we get. Any kind of rainbow up until right about here would feel really, reassuring. So we're not going to get it, are we? No, we are not. No, we are not. All right. Well, she hates me. What else is new? Umber is going to move on with his life, sort of thing. So thank you so much for watching. If I forgot anything in this video, I'll try and touch upon it in the next video. But kind of hard to say not worth the stones on. You know, because again, globalers. Later.